Hello everyone and welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. Wait till you see what we have here. I've been busy. I went and I picked up all of the bales like I said I was going to. And I sold some of them and I stacked some of them. Well, stacked is not the right term. I kind of chucked them in a pile over on the side of the pen. But I downloaded a new mod to the game and I went and I bought it. I sold the windrower I had. And I got this one. This is supposed to have a 12-meter spread on it, so it should pick up a lot more. So I haven't used this yet. I literally just bought it, and I'm on my way back from the store now with it. So you will see it for the first time as I see it. And we'll see how it does. Hopefully, it works really, really well for us. And we'll be able to combine a lot more of these rows into one row. But we'll see how it works. Also, on this episode, my goal is to get chickens going on this episode. That's what we're going to be trying to shoot for. I'm going to get a little bit more of this straw out of the way. Go ahead and get it windrowed up and picked up with the loading wagon so that we have room to put our chicken pen. And I might get a loan from the bank. See, here's the pile of bales that I had left. I sold some of them to get a little bit more money, but I still have a lot of bales left for the sheep. But I also might go and get a loan from the bank to go ahead and put my silo in today too. That way I can start to store some of this straw. So here is this mod that I got. It's a top 1252C S-Line mod. It's $45,665 is what it cost. And it is pretty awesome. At least it's pretty awesome looking. We'll see how it works. Isn't that cool? Already you can see that it's much larger than the one we had. Now they make a larger one for the base game as well, but it's rather difficult to get that thing turned around when it is spread out. So on smaller fields or fields that have a lot of trees around them and stuff, it's just not a practical one to use for me. But we're going to ride over here and we're going to use this and see how it does. See if it leaves a bunch of straw behind, if it picks everything up, and how many rows it can actually cover. Our other one we were using was covering 3. This one looks like I might be able to get 4 using it, maybe. No, it looks like it's going to probably... Well, I don't know for sure because this one row on the right is a little bit further over. So I'm going to say probably around 4 rows with this one. So I'm just going to drive straight and I'm going to see what it does. See if it picks everything up or if it leaves any behind. So far, so good. It's looking like it's doing the job it's supposed to do. So that's wonderful. You never can tell. Sometimes mods are brilliant, and sometimes they just don't work too well. So the only way to know for sure is to download it and to buy it on the game and try it out. Okay, we missed a little bit there, and that is the fault of the windrower, not me, because I have not moved. We missed there. We went directly over top of it and it did not pick up. So that's going to be a problem if that continues. Because what that means is I'm going to have to go back over this row again. They missed a big one there at the end. Let's get this guy turned around. And we'll run back over this again and try to combine it all back together. I think I'm going to skip this big section there and try to get this other row combined into this one. I'll pick all of this stuff up with the loading wagon as I go. I just want to see if it's going to do the same thing again with a fresh row. Now, one of our options here, if it continues to do that, would be to hire a worker to do it and then see Yeah, see, it's missing still. Hire a worker to do it and see if that makes a difference. Or if it will continue to miss. Because sometimes when you do it manually, it will miss bits, and then when you hire a worker, it works perfectly fine. It doesn't miss anything. So that might be an option for this mod. Worst case scenario, we sell it back to the bank and buy the windrower that we had before again. Because it wasn't missing any. And we're just going to continue to pile this on. Make bigger and bigger row. Okay, that was my fault. I kind of veered over a little bit and missed that bit. It's hard to stay going straight sometimes on this game. That was a huge section missed. Okay, so if you are somebody, look at how much this is missing. I mean, literally an entire line is not even being picked up. If you're somebody that plays this game and you are thinking about picking up this mod, be aware of this. That it will absolutely miss a lot of whatever you're trying to pick up. Now, they might do an update at some point on the mod and fix that, or they might not. But our harvester is full again. So I'm going to bring him back over here, line him back up, and I'm going to hire a worker to do this while I empty my harvester and see if that makes a difference, if it still keeps missing, or if when a worker is doing it, it actually does what it's supposed to do. Because as I said before, that is a remedy to this sometimes. So we'll let him do his job, and we'll check back in with him and see if there's a whole lot of missed straw or not. Because as I said, if so, we'll just get rid of that mod. We'll sell it back, and we will get a different windrower. We can always go back to the one we had before. I mean, we'll lose a little bit of money off buying this one and selling it back, but it's not the end of the world. And as I said, there might be an update that comes that fixes that issue completely, and then that'll be a really good windrower for us to use. But if hiring a worker solves the issue, then that might be the way to go. From what I can see sitting here, it certainly looks like he's not missing. So we'll kind of watch him as he goes here. Yeah, it's combining it all into one. So that definitely works. So for the time being, we will just allow a worker to do that job because he does it better. I'm just going to kind of follow along with this guy to get to near the end of the row, and then I'm going to bail on him. That way he can turn around and do his job. We'll come over here and check. Yeah, I'm following. This is the row that he's currently doing. And as you can see, nothing is being missed. And nothing was really missed on the row before it either. So that's good news. I want to see how many rows he does. Looks like he's combining 3. So that's the same spread we had with our other one, really. Although when you did a worker to do the other one, he only did 2. So we've gained 1 with the worker. So that's good news. So let's start picking up some of this straw and getting it out of the way so that I can put my chicken pen down. I am at 86% right now capacity on this loading wagon. So very soon I will have to empty this as well. And I will do that the same way I did the straw bales. I'll just take it over there to my sell point and I will empty it directly into the grate and make some money. Now granted, it's not going to be a ton of money because it's straw, but until I buy the silo, every little bit of money will kind of add up. As you can see, I'm already full, so I'm going back here to sell. And I think very soon I'm going to be buying the silo. I wonder if I should go ahead and buy it now instead of selling the straw. I'm just thinking, because I'm going to be making straw pellets before too long, but it's not like it's going to take long to get more straw. There's not going to be a shortage of it, because I have 2 other fields right now that I'm going to be doing that have straw on them. So I'll go ahead and sell this so you can see what it looks like. That's how you sell your loose straw. You can also sell loose hay, silage, and grass this way into your handy dandy sell anything mod. And you just empty it and get paid just like you do your crops. So I made $2,155 off of that. I could have made substantially more if I would have done it as pellets, but I just don't have that capability yet. I get a lot of enjoyment out of going down the line and watching the straw go away. Because right now the field is a mess, but it's kind of, I get the same enjoyment out of mowing and vacuuming, all those kind of things, to where you're just kind of cleaning up an area and making it look better and making it more uniform. I like that. Some people don't mess with straw at all. They set their harvester up to where it will not shoot the straw out the back, but instead it like shoots dust that they don't have to pick up, because they say it's just simply not worth it. That you don't make enough money off of it to make it worth the time you spend to pick it up. And in a way that's true, but it's kind of nice when you have animals to do everything yourself. You can grow your own crops to feed them. You can collect the straw from the crops for bedding for the animals. And in this case, we're going to be using the straw as a commodity because we're going to be making it into straw pellets eventually. So once we do that, it will be worth substantially more. Now I could buy the straw from a Buy Anything mod and then make pellets out of it and then sell the pellets for more than I paid for the straw. But this way, I'm getting the straw for free. And it means a little bit of extra cash. I mean, granted, it's only $2,000 per load, but I just did 2 loads in a couple minutes. So I just made almost $5,000 in a couple minutes from something that is really just a waste product on a field. So that's a good deal as far as I'm concerned. What else am I going to be doing while I'm waiting for the harvester to get done unless I'm doing the harvesting myself? This way, I can kind of do 2 things at once. Well, 3 really, if you think about it, because I'm also windrowing the field at the same time. And if I chose to, I could be mowing the other field that I picked all the bales up off of. I could be mowing that again. And I will have one of my tractors mowing quite a bit once I get the silo opened up where I can store the grass, because then I'll go pick up the grass in the loading wagon and store it in there. I can feed my sheep with it. And also what I'm going to be doing soon is putting in silage bunkers on this field. Big, gigantic, long silage bunkers. So every time I get a load of grass, I can take it and dump it in my silage bunker. And when it gets full, I'll cover it up. And all that grass I will turn into silage. The silage I can either use as an ingredient in total mix rations for when I do cows, or in the meantime, I can simply sell the silage and make a good amount of money doing that. That's the secret to success with this game. If you don't want to use a money cheat, if you want to actually earn the money to buy all the equipment and everything you need, the secret is diversification. You want to have as many different things going on as you possibly can that make you money. You want to use your workers because that gives you the opportunity to do multiple things at once. Whereas if you're one of those people that do everything yourself and are totally against workers, you don't get anywhere near as much work done because you can only do one thing at a time. So you would have to harvest the field, and then once you completely harvest it, you'd have to go through and windrow the entire thing, and then you'd have to go through and pick up all of the straw off of it yourself and sell it. Well, in the amount of time it took you to do that, I could have already harvested and picked up the straw off of 3 fields. It made a tremendous amount more money. But it's really all about how you want to play the game. If you don't want to do it where you have workers, that's 100% cool too. Because in all reality, if making money is your only goal on the game, you don't have to do anything. You can just do the government subsidy mod and get $100,000 an hour for every little sign you put on your property. So you could literally be making millions or tens of millions of dollars a day if you wanted to, if you put enough signs out. A lot of this is your own personal choice, what you want to do, and what brings you the most joy, what makes you happy. And then play that way and just enjoy it. And don't worry about what everybody else does. It doesn't matter. I mean, they can play the game any way they choose. And you can play the game any way you choose. As long as it puts a smile on your face, that's all that matters. And a game like this, the whole point of something like this is simply to relax. I mean, this game is so laid back and so chill. It doesn't make any sense for people to get all worked up over it. Time to empty our guy again. At some point, we're going to have to start thinking about saving some of this wheat as well. Because our chickens are going to eat this. And if I don't save any of it, I'm going to have to... Oh man, I got a mess here, don't I? Okay, this is what I was talking about the other day. If you're not careful and the harvester doesn't have enough of a lead on whoever else is working the field, this is exactly what happens, is they kind of get stuck on each other. But I took care of it. So we're going to go back over here and fill this up. I don't need a whole lot more. Another 3,500 and something will fill it. So I'll have to come back and get him again here real soon. But at least that'll get him moving again. And then we have to decide, do we want to sell this and make a little bit of money, or do we want to buy the chicken pen and go ahead and get chickens going and feed this to them? That's our quandary here. I think I have enough left on the field that I can go ahead and sell this and still be able to either fill up or get really close to filling up the the chickens. So I think that's what we'll do here. We'll just make a little bit more money off of it because we're going to need it to buy the chicken pen and all the chickens and everything like that. It's not super expensive. I think it's like 40 grand for the large chicken enclosure. And you can get 400 chickens for about $20,000 on this game. They're not extremely expensive. So we're talking about 60 grand. That'll put us somewhere in the ballpark of $80,000 left. And we've got to pay $300 and some thousand for the silo. I think it's 300 even, but who knows what we'll have to pay by the time we put it up, because you're going to have to landscape for it. So I think the way to go there is going to be a bank loan. As much as I don't want to do a bank loan because it costs extra money, because you got to pay interest on it. But I think that's the only realistic way without using a money cheat that we are going to be able to purchase at any time in the future, or at least the near future. The reason the silo is so important to get up and going is because it enables me to store all my extra stuff. And without it, I can pretty much only either sell it or leave it in big piles laying on the ground somewhere. And the only problem with that is then I got to come back and pick it up to put it in the silo once I buy the silo. So once I get to the point where I want to really start saving a lot of this stuff, it's going to be crucial that I have that silo set up. And I just don't think money-wise I'm going to be there anytime soon. Probably not for another 3, maybe 4 episodes will I have enough money to buy it if I just do it by what I'm selling. So I think that the way to go is going to be a bank loan. Now what happens when you get a bank loan is at the end of every day at midnight, you have to pay an interest payment on that bank loan. Now it's not a lot. You can completely max out your bank loan if you want. And you're still not even paying $1,000 a day in interest. Now $1,000 is $1,000, but in the grand scheme of things, when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars on this game, $1,000 a day is really nothing. I make way more than that in a day. So it's not the end of the world. So let's look about a couple things here. First, let's look at the chicken coop. See if I have room to put that now. I think I'm going to. So where do I want to sit this? I would like to sit it here. Right in this area. It's just a matter of finding a spot that'll work for me that the green shows up. Come on, baby. Oh, I had it for a second. Okay. That is just over 40 grand. That's a little bit better. I think that's probably the best we're going to do, so we'll sit it there. So now we have our chicken pen built. So now we're going to have to buy chickens. So any wheat that we harvest from the field from this point on will be going towards feeding our chickens. So I'm going to keep picking up straw, and then once it is time to empty the harvester again, I will do that and go over and buy some chickens. Because there's no point in buying them before I feed them because they're not going to produce anything. So I might as well use that time to pick up some more straw. Alright, the harvester is ready to go. So we will go ahead and empty that, and then we will buy ourselves some chickens. Now the chickens will produce eggs, and the eggs sell for a decent amount of money. You can do them loose in boxes and sell each box individually, or you can go and buy pallets that you can sit in the loading area where the boxes appear, and the boxes will fill up the pallets instead of appear loose. And then you just take and sell the entire pallet. That's what I will eventually probably do, but I need to have a front loader or something before I do that, and I have not bought one yet because I am short on funds. I can buy a front loader for around 60 to 80 grand, and the attachment is less than 1,000 that I need. I can buy a skid steer for anywhere from $5,000 up. If I want a real dinky one, I can do 5,000. But I want to try to make everything on the farm purple, and in order to do that, I have to buy this certain telehandler. It's the only thing that I can buy that I can change the color on, and that's going to run me around 120, 130. So that's going to have to wait. So right now what we'll do is just allow the chickens to lay the eggs, and the boxes will just appear and we'll sell them individually until I get the money for the telehandler for the farm. Alright, so on this there is only one trough because they do not require water. So all you have to do is pull up to it, and then we're going to go over here and buy our chickens. Okay, you have white chickens, you have black, you have brown, and you have the roosters. Now, I'm going with the black because it fits the Abyss Farms. I think the roosters are the coolest looking, but unfortunately, if I buy a entire pen full of roosters, I do not think that they will produce any eggs. I know they wouldn't in real life. I've never tried it on the game, but I seriously doubt that they'll produce eggs. So we're just going to buy and buy and buy until it won't let us buy anymore. I think this can hold 400, but I'm not sure. But it can hold quite a bit. But I know that it costs right around 20 grand to completely fill it with chickens. So that's what we're doing. We're not going to worry about letting the chickens breed and all that kind of stuff because they're 50 bucks a piece, so who cares? It's not like we're going to be selling them. We're just going to fill it up and make our money off our eggs. The more chickens you have, obviously the more eggs they lay. So you want to maximize the number. Now when it comes to things like pigs or sheep or cows, it's okay to do a smaller number. Yes, they'll produce less of whatever product it is that you want, but they will also breed and produce more, and they're a little more expensive to buy, so it makes sense to kind of buy a smaller number and let them breed you up to the population you want. Okay, so $26,000, I was off by $6,000, is what it cost to completely fill this thing with chickens. And there you can see them. Our little black chickens are chilling. So now we're going to go over here and we're going to feed them some wheat. We will empty one full load from the harvester, which is 5,500 liters. And then we will check and we will see what that did. Okay, it did almost a quarter of the bar. We're still in the red, but almost a quarter. So we're probably going to need 4 loads to fully fill it up. Now keep in mind, that's not 4 trailer loads, that's 4 harvester loads. So probably around 20, 21, 22,000 liters will fill that completely. So we're going to drive over here and drop that off, and we'll get back to picking up this straw until it's time to once again get our wheat. The chickens will also eat barley, so as you're looking at your map screen, any wheat or any barley fields you find, you can harvest and feed to your chickens. I have to empty this because it's full. So we'll go ahead and do that, try to make a little bit of this money back that we just spent. Because we're down to $76,000. This should put us up at 78 something, which will be not great, but a lot better. Yeah, 78,232 is what we have now. We made 1,400 bucks off that load. As you sell, the price goes down because there's more of them. So let's go in here and look at the chicken pen. Those things over there, that look kind of like a... I'm going to take a screenshot real quick. They look kind of like I don't even know what to call them. Like a jug on a plate. This here, that is the watering thing. This is the house where they lay their eggs. Back here is where you would actually lift the lid and collect the eggs. There's little nesting boxes in there where they'll lay and in the box and they'll actually lay eggs. That is a bowl for some reason. I don't know if that's supposed to be where their water is. I have no idea. I don't know, maybe those things are supposed to be where the food comes in, but the trough is right there that has the food in it. So I don't know. In real life, they have things that look like that they can peck that will give them water. So I'm guessing that's what that is, but I could be mistaken. So now we have emptied out our loading wagon and it's time to fill it back up. Got to keep an eye on that harvester. Now when you get a entirely full bar on your animal food, that will last 6 days before it's empty in the game. If you're on seasons mode, it's a little bit different. I don't know exactly how long it lasts on seasons mode before it runs out, because seasons is kind of weird. 1 day equals 1 month, pretty much. So if you're doing, well, depending. If you're doing 3-day seasons, then that means every season takes 3 days before it's over. So that would mean that every season would be about 4 months, so it's a little over a month. Now if you're doing 6-day seasons, it's less. So it all depends on how you set up your seasons. But there's a lot of things on seasons that are different. The animal system completely is different because they breed in a different way. They only produce wool and milk at certain times of the year. There's all kinds of different things with seasons. I don't play seasons usually, not because it's too difficult, because it's not. The problem that I have with seasons is it's boring. It just bores the hell out of me because there's way too much time where you don't have anything to do. Where all you're doing is fast-forwarding time trying to get to something to do. I like it to be a little more fast-paced. I like to have a lot of fields going. I like to always have jobs to do. I don't want to be waiting around. And unfortunately, when you're playing seasons, there's a lot of waiting around, especially in the beginning, because you may only have a couple fields. And once you plant those fields, there's nothing to do. You wait, and then you can fertilize them, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then maybe you set up an animal pen or something, and then you wait, and then you go and buy food because you can't harvest anything yet, and then you feed the animals, and then you wait, and then eventually, through enough waiting and fast-forwarding of time, you can actually harvest. But then if it's raining, you can't harvest, which you can't harvest if it's raining on the game, either on the normal game. But the problem is your fields will rot if you don't harvest them in time, and you don't get to harvest them. So let's say you waited all year just to harvest this damn field, and then it rains, and now you can't harvest it. Even after it stops raining, you still can't harvest it because the ground is too wet, so you got to wait for it to dry. Well, then by the time that happens, it's too late. You can't harvest it now because it's not time anymore. And that just drives me crazy. I'd rather have multiple fields ready, waiting on me, and I could just go from one to the other, to the other, to the other, and just keep it moving. Alright, our harvester is full again. So we're going to line back up here. And then go over and pick up our trailer and get our wheat and feed it to our chickens. It's sad because I really wanted to like seasons. I absolutely love the way the animals work on seasons. I love the way they get bigger to where their weight is real small in the beginning and they gain weight as time goes on. The more they weigh, the more they eat, the harder it is to keep the trough full. I love all of that about seasons. My only problem with seasons is there's too much downtime. And that drives me crazy. And the only way around it is to literally speed up time. You have to skip through the days until there's a day that you actually have something to do. And I just don't like that about it. I have tried multiple times to set up a game on Seasons and play it through, and it always ends the same way. With me getting bored out of my mind and sick and tired of waiting around and skipping time, so I just end up deleting it and doing a regular game again, to where I can actually do things. And maybe that's not, the best, because I just don't have the patience for it. But what I would love to see is a mod come out that enables the animals to behave the way they behave on Seasons. That would be the greatest. If I could run the regular game, but with a mod to where the animals grow the way they grow on Seasons, and that the animals can die if you don't take care of them, and all of that, I would be totally in for that. I would love it. But as of right now, there's no mod that exists like that I know of. At least it's not on the mod hub where you can download it for console. Okay, so that is another load into the chicken pen. That should be about halfway full now, I would guess, because it was about a quarter of the way full before. So now it's just back to picking up straw until our harvester is ready to go again. When he gets finished, I will take him to another one of the fields and begin harvesting that. Or depending on our money situation, I might look to buy another field. But as of right now, our money situation is pretty dire, so that's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. It all depends if I take out that loan to buy the silo. If I take out the loan, I'm probably going to just get the full amount I can get, because that way I can buy the silo, and I can also maybe buy another field or two to get some more crops in to sell and make more money off of. We shall see. It's a delicate balance sometimes, because you want to have the extra money to buy new equipment, so you can get the bigger equipment, so you can do better things. But at the same time, you have to save enough money back to where you can afford to buy new fields so that you can continue to make money. Now, you can just simply buy fields and keep them and plant them and wait for them to get ready and harvest them and all that kind of stuff, if you choose to do it that way as well. And I've played that way quite a bit. But I really love letting the other farmers do that, and just coming in and buying the field out from underneath of them. Let's check these chickens real quick. Well, actually, let's go ahead and do this. What the hell? Let's get the full amount we can get. Should put us up over $500,000, I think. Yeah, we're over $500,000 now. We're still going. Over 600,000. So we ended up at $634,000 and a little bit of change. So now let's buy this silo and put it in. The silo that I want is going to be all the way over. I don't remember downloading that one, but I guess I did. It's going to be all the way over to the right. Here's another small multi-fruit silo. That's only got 100,000 capacity, though. The one that I want is going to be 900,000, I believe, capacity. This one here is a good one too, but it only holds 250,000. But that silo can actually hold your pellets, which is cool. If you want to store those, you use them yourself. But this is what I want, the large silo facility. It's $300,000, and it holds 900,000 liters of all of those different crops. It is big as hell too, so you got to make sure you got room for it. All right, it is 300 is the base price. We want to get as close to that as possible, so that it's as flat as can be. So we're going to move around a little bit and see how close I can get to it. That is pretty much dead on. I think I'm $1 over. That is perfect. Okay, so that will work. So now when we fill this up, instead of selling it, we will empty it into our silo. and we will begin saving the straw for when we get the ability to make straw pellets. Now once again, double-edged sword, because yes, we are putting back a lot of straw that we can turn into a lot more money later, but we're also not making money off of it now. We have to make money in order to get enough money to get into the business of making the pellets. We are going to need around $700,000 at least to get into that business. Right now, we're not there. We got $334,000. That's enough to buy the tractor, but not enough to buy everything I need. Or I could buy the machine that can make the pellets, but I won't be able to buy the rack system for the bales, and I won't be able to buy the tractor that can actually make the machine run. And I have maxed out my loans, so there's no way I can get more money from the bank until I pay this off. But the silo gives us an ability to store our crops, which is great. So you pour into there to store, and you come up underneath this spigot right here, this pipe, and that's where you can fill. You can see I can do chaff, hay, grass, and straw with this trailer. I can also store all of the fruit types, and I can store total mix rations, and I can store seeds. I can store all kinds of stuff in here. But you have to have the right trailer underneath of it to fill up. Okay, so now my harvester is done with this field. So I'm going to drive the harvester directly over and empty it into the chicken area. Look at my trailer, make sure that's empty. I think it is. Looks empty. So I'll drive right over here and empty it directly into the trough for the chickens. That's another thing you can do with your harvesters if you don't have a trailer handy, is you can empty those directly into all of the different animal pens if the animal will eat whatever's in this harvester. And you can also empty it directly into your silo if you can have access to it. So that is always an option. Okay, now this thing is empty, so I am free to start harvesting again. Let's see, that gave me almost 3/4, so that's pretty good. My other fields are down here, but let me look real quick and see if there's anything better that I can buy, because I have a little bit of money to go ahead and start working on. Okay, field 27 over there is done, and that is soybeans. So that is the best crop in the game, and it is a big field. And I have the money to buy it, so I'm going to buy it, and we are going to make a lot of money off that field. That is great news. So I'm going to turn this guy around and head down to that field and start working on it. We paid 102, I think it was, or something like that, thousand for that field. But we are going to end up making several $100,000 off of it in soybeans, and then I will sell the field back and get the original $102,000 back as well. So when we get done with the field, we will be much, much better off. We might make enough just from doing that field to buy that tractor we need. So that'll be great news. Get us started towards our progress for making the pellets. The straw pellets is one of my favorite things to do in the game now. That might be because it's so new. It hasn't been out for all that long. And so I really enjoy it because I've been playing Farming Simulator for years and years and years. So I'm kind of used to doing everything. But the straw pellets is something that's brand new that just came to the game not too long ago. So there's still that novelty of doing it. And with that baler that makes the tiny bales now, I can pick those things up with my hands and throw them into the pelletizer machine. That is so cool. So I can literally just make a giant pile of tiny bales, stand there, pick them up, and feed them into the machine for as long as I want, and just continuously make pellets, and then sell those pellets for a buttload of cash. That's just sweet. Now, as I was saying before, you can also set up a factory. that will bag up the pellets and will put them on pallets for you. That requires you to dump the pellets once you make them into a hopper that feeds it into the machinery that will bag it up. And then you take the pellets that are on the pallet and you sell them at a special sell point, and that's how you make your money. But as of right now, the money is the same, whether you sell them loose or you sell them on pallets. So there's really no point in investing another couple $100,000 in the factory, going through all the trouble of the extra step of putting all that into the hopper and waiting for the pallet to get done just to make the same amount of money you could have made for selling it in the first place. It's extremely cool looking. It's a lot of fun to play with, but it just doesn't make any sense to do. If the building was bigger, that would be better, but it's not. It's tiny, and it's hard to maneuver around inside of it, so that's another drawback of it. It seems like you never have enough room in a lot of these buildings in this game. You would think with gigantic machinery that people would make buildings that were gigantic so you could do whatever you wanted in there and not have any trouble. But a lot of them aren't that way. A lot of the mods are awfully small. Now there are exceptions. There are some that are nice and big. But a lot of them are tiny and really difficult to navigate. Now, some people like it that way. They like a good challenge. Me, I say make it easy. That's how I like things. Nice and easy and fun. I don't want to get frustrated when I'm playing. I just want to enjoy it. So he's working on soybeans. Get him working on the straw, and we will start picking it back up and storing it. So hopefully by the end of this, we will have the majority of this picked up and stored. It will all be windrowed, and we'll have some of that other field done. But it's been a pretty productive episode. We've gotten chickens going. We have a full pen of chickens that are working and making eggs for us. We have a brand new gigantic silo that will hold just shy of 1 million liters of all the different crops. So we are in a great position to store a ton of straw and hay and silage and total mix rations and all that stuff, grass, everything, to make sure our animals have plenty of food. So it has been a very productive episode and a very good one from a work standpoint. One thing that I really wish somebody would make a mod of for console, and if there's any modders that hear this, please take this recommendation and think about it. There is a mod for PC that allows you to make your own pig food. Now you can buy pig food on console, and there are mods that enable you to buy it cheaper on console. But there's no machine that you can make your own. We can make total mix ration for the cows with a mixing wagon. It would be super sweet if somebody either made a mixing wagon that you could empty a bunch of the different crops into and make pig food, or even better than that, make a machine like the one for PC that you can literally empty the different ingredients into, and it'll make a ton of that stuff for you, and then you can store that. That would be so awesome, because I would love to make my own pig food. I have no problem growing all the crops and storing them and all that kind of stuff, but I would love to be able to mix them up and make them into pig food, so I only have to do one trailer load to the pigs instead of having to run a trailer load of corn, then a trailer load of wheat, and then a trailer load of canola, trailer load of potatoes. Instead of doing all that, if I could just run pig food, that would be cool. But I want to be able to mix it up myself. I don't want to have to buy it. So if that's something that could be done, I know it can be done because it was done on PC. But if that's something that could get brought to console, I would be super happy about that. And I would literally use that in every gameplay. Just a little food for thought. I can't be the only one that thinks that. Unfortunately, I do not play on PC, so I don't have access to a lot of the really super cool mods. I just have access to the mods that they bring to Xbox. Now, granted, there are a lot of really cool mods on Xbox. There are a lot of mods that have really, honestly changed the way I play this game. And changed it for the better. And I think the mods are what give this game such a long lifespan. That and the fact that the people that play this game are so passionate about it. It's probably the most passionate gaming community I've ever seen. And I've played a lot of video games. But the people that are into Farming Simulator like me, we are ride or die for this game. I will buy every single Farming Simulator game that comes out. I don't care if you put this game out every year. I will buy the new one every single year, and I will play it, and I will love it. I'll be playing this game 10 years from now. I guarantee it, because it is so fun. And I just never get tired of it. It is a great, great game. So a huge hat tip and a shout out to Giant Software for making it. I love this game. Your work is amazing, and I thank you. To all the modders who make this game so much fun to play and keep it alive and thriving, once again, major hat tip. Thank you so much. You have brought a lot of enjoyment into my life with this game and all these really cool mods that you make. And I just want you to know we appreciate you. All of us normal people that play this game who have no idea how to even make a mod, we definitely appreciate the work you guys put into this stuff, and it's amazing. You might as well be doing magic. I'm just going to say it. You might as well be doing magic. That's how little we know about how you do what you do, but it's brilliant, and we absolutely love it. One of these days, I will actually record my mod screen so you can see all the mods I have. I got a giant list of mods. Not all of them are active and being used every single game. I mean, they're all active, but you have to buy them from the store. It's not like you get the equipment for free. You still got to pay for it. And I don't have all of them working right now as far as bought and in my games, but I have the option to use all of them, which is awesome. So now that we have our silo, I am going to go ahead and get this guy mowing again, because I might as well get as much grass as I can, because I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it to feed the sheep, and I'm going to start making silage once I have enough grass to do so. And that'll be another good income source for us. So we'll get him going. Alright. We have a little bit left here to do before all of this is picked up. And then we'll be able to buy, after I get all this picked up, we will buy a planter of some sort. It's probably going to have to be a real small one, because we're limited by our horsepower right now by these small tractors. But there is a small one that I can buy that will plant directly into the ground without having to cultivate it first. So I'll probably pick that up. It's around $30,000, $40,000, somewhere in that range. So I'll pick that up, and I will start planting soybeans probably next episode. I'll be planting here once I get all this picked up. So then you'll get to see that, how you plant your crops and how you fertilize and all that stuff. And we'll wait for that to grow up, and then we'll actually have a decent amount of soybeans on our own field that we can harvest for some extra cash. And it won't be too long if we keep making good money to where we will be making pellets as well. And once that happens, we will have a lot more money, and we will be good to go. We'll be able to buy pretty much anything we want at that point. We'll be able to start doing cows, maybe even get into doing some pigs. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. That's about all the time we have left for it. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'm just going to keep on picking up straw and dumping it in the silo until time runs out. But I will see you on the next episode, so until I speak to you again, love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.